Hey everyone, welcome back. I'm Naisha and you're watching Brown and Abroad. If you're new here, please hit the subscribe button so you never miss a new upcoming video. Today we're gonna get a little bit serious and I'm going to talk with you about my personal life. So today we're gonna be talking about my journey to going no contact with 3 of my family members. First, we have to, I guess, start at the beginning and just talk about my family structure growing up. Growing up, I'm not gonna get too much into it because it's painful, it's tedious, it's a whole lot of things, and I don't really wanna like drudge up too much. But basically, growing up, I would say that I lived in very toxic environments with people who were not very smart, not very emotionally intelligent, not really interested in being better people, and had a lot of trauma of their own that they were not interested in checking or, you know, basically like healing. Where we moved around a lot. As a child, I went to about 9 different schools. My parents separated and divorced when I was really, really young. And then from there, it was just me and my mother for a while. And then when I was 11, my father got custody of me. And I went to live with him and his second wife. And from there was a lot of mental, emotional, and psychological abuse from my father and his second wife. And it's affected me a lot. There was a lot of, like I said, just a lot of toxicity. I was treated very, very poorly for a variety of different reasons. And back then it was framed, me coming to live with him was framed as like something that was gonna help me out or something that was gonna be, I don't know, a good thing, but it was not a good thing. From the moment I got into that house, I was not wanted there by his wife. And then when the money situation with child support didn't work out the way they thought it was going to work out, I really wasn't wanted in that house. And I was made to feel very alone, very isolated, very foreign, and it just was an awful time. I ended up developing a cutting problem from about 12 to about 19, 20, on and off. And it's still something, unfortunately, that sometimes I deal with today. And, you know, I've always had a very tumultuous relationship with both of my parents. There was always this feeling of not being wanted or feeling like being a burden or like they just didn't, you know, neither one of them, looking back in hindsight, were equipped to be parents or really wanted to be parents. And that really colored, you know, my childhood and how they treated me. And for a long time, you know, I had self-esteem issues. I had issues with deciding who should and should not be in my life, who should and should not stay in my life, how someone should be treating me, because I was treated so poorly growing up by my main caregivers. So, looking back, I do love to travel, but moving so far away, San Francisco, then New York, then Asia, and then not really going back to Cleveland very often was intentional. It was to get away from those people. And I remember as a kid, you know, kind of coming to this realization, like actually on my prom night. So let me know if you want to hear a story time about my prom night and I guess how I realized I need to get away from these people. So I came to this realization on my prom night, and I remember thinking, you know, these people don't really care about me or love me the way normal parents love and care about their children. They don't really support me in that way. And I don't really know why, but some things happened that night and it made me think, I need to get away from these people if if I want to have anything in life. They're never gonna be really down for me or help me. And that was at 18. It's still, I'm 36 years old now, so it still took a bunch of time on and off for me to like come to more realizations. But the relationships just never really got better, and it's just kind of been like, from my perspective, like over the years, trying constantly to fix the situation and correct the behavior and have boundaries and things like that, and it just continued to never really work out. So around the pandemic, 2020, when the pandemic was first starting, in late 2020, I went back to Cleveland for 4 months to live. I got like a room somewhere and just kind of hunkered down. And, it was a really healing trip because it made me realize some things that like kind of were on the surface, specifically about my father. And going back there and I had been going through therapy for years, on and off, but mainly on. And, working on boundaries, working on treating myself the way I want to be treated. And I just realized that I wasn't being treated in a kind, loving, caring manner by him. And throughout the years, I've tried to speak to him about this. I've spoken to him about this. And then I ended up speaking to him about this maybe actually like a few months after I ended up going back to Mexico from Cleveland, about the treatment, the neglect, the abandonment, all of that, and didn't really got some BS, cool, whatever, like just whatever, dismissal, I guess. Got some BS dismissal, and I ended up kind of, I don't even want to talk about it, but just other things that happened in my life, I kind of realized, oh, this is how I'm supposed to be treated. I started being treated a certain way, or started understanding like, oh, this is how someone treats you when they love you, when they care about you, and this is how someone talks to you about you. This is how someone respects you. And I was not getting that treatment. So and also it was just really harping on my soul and my mental. And as you're getting older, I'm 36, like I said, and I started thinking like, what if I die? Who's gonna take care of my body? What if I get sick? What if I'm, I can't walk anymore? These people can't love me and celebrate me and show up for me in life. They definitely not gonna be able to do it in death or in sickness. And I realized that, the issues that I was having with relationships, romantic and otherwise, with lots of people, but specifically with men, even like friendships were being tested or were struggling more than they should because of the issues that I had with men, and those issues stemmed from the relationship I have with my father. And I realized that if I want to move on and have great people continue to be in my life, and if I want to maybe get married to a man, to a woman, to whoever, have like great romantic relationships and great friendships, I can't keep having people in my life who treat me poorly, regardless of if they're my friends or family or whoever. So I decided to tell him that, I don't really want to have this relationship with you anymore, and you're not really the type of man or person that I really want in my life, which is the truth. Once I realized that that well is dry, and for whatever reason, he just don't see it for me, or he just simply can't and is not, does not want to, doesn't want to, whatever, that freed me. It freed up a lot of mental space. And with my mother, Unfortunately, you know, she tried a little bit more, and you know, I thank her for that, but it still was a lot of boundary crossing, and she was still doing a lot of behaviors that would trigger me and make me think about the negative things in our past. And I just felt like I was not being, once again, treated in a kind, caring, loving manner. And you know, I just really want people in my life moving forward who really care about me. And unfortunately, they don't. For whatever reason, they just don't. So unfortunately, I had to let her go as well. And then I had a stepsister that I had to also let go as well. She got mad because I started speaking and writing more about the mental and emotional abuse I went through at the hands of her and my father. And I am just not going to put other people's feelings before mine. I just wanted to come and let you guys know a little bit about my emotional state. Everything is fine. I feel a lot better now that I've let go of those things, and I'm continue on with my therapy journey, and things are pretty good these days. So I just want to say thank you, and please share this video if you think it will help people.